The mansion stood like a fortress of silence, its iron gates closing behind yet another caretaker who left with trembling hands and broken pride, while two small shadows watched from an upstairs window with eyes far too old for their age. Everyone whispered that the billionaire's twins were cursed, heartless, impossible to love, and that anyone who tried would leave ruined. But no one ever asked why two children with everything money could buy were slowly destroying every soul sent to care for them. Before the story truly begins, if you believe in kindness, second chances, and the quiet power of compassion, take a moment to like this video, share it with someone who needs hope today, leave a comment, and subscribe to the channel. Your support helps stories like this reach hearts that need them most. Ethan Blackwood was a name spoken with respect and fear across boardrooms and business magazines, a man who built an empire from nothing and guarded it with ruthless precision. Yet behind the headlines and glass towers, his greatest failure echoed through the marble halls of his home. His twins, Leo and Luna, were 8 years old, brilliant and beautiful, but wrapped in a coldness that unsettled even the bravest professionals. Caretakers arrived confident and left defeated, some crying, some angry, others silent with shame. The twins did not scream or throw tantrums like ordinary children. Instead, they tested patience with calculated cruelty, refusing food, destroying belongings, locking doors, watching adults unravel as if it were a game. The staff believed the children were spoiled monsters, but the truth lay buried in grief no one dared to touch. Their mother had died giving birth, a tragedy that hollowed Ethan in ways he never healed. He loved his children from a distance, providing everything except the one thing they needed most, presence. He worked longer hours, avoided their eyes, and filled the emptiness with rules and money. The twins learned early that adults came and went, that affection was temporary, and that control was the only shield against abandonment. So they pushed everyone away before anyone could leave them first. When Maria arrived at the mansion, no one noticed her. She was hired not as a caretaker but as a simple maid, a quiet woman in her early 40s with worn shoes and gentle eyes shaped by years of loss. She had buried her husband and raised a sick child alone before life took that too. Grief had stripped her down to essentials, leaving behind patience, humility, and a deep understanding of pain. She did not know the reputation of the twins, and perhaps that ignorance saved her. Maria cleaned slowly, carefully, as if every object held a story. She noticed the drawings torn and hidden in corners, the untouched meals growing cold, the heavy silence that followed the twins like a storm cloud. When Leo deliberately spilled paint across a freshly cleaned floor and waited for anger, Maria simply knelt and wiped it up, her hands steady, her face calm. When Luna hid Maria's keys and watched from behind the staircase, expecting panic, Maria sat down and waited, breathing quietly, as if she had all the time in the world. The twins were confused. This woman did not react the way others did. She did not scold, threaten, or quit. She did not report them. Instead, she returned the next day and the next, unchanged. Slowly, they began escalating their behavior, pushing harder, trying to break her. They scratched walls, whispered insults, sabotaged her work, but Maria absorbed it all like a river stone worn smooth by years of storms. She had known pain far worse than misbehaving children. One rainy afternoon, the mansion lost power. The hallways darkened, and thunder shook the windows. The twins, who had once hidden their fear beneath cruelty, froze. Memories surfaced of a night years ago when they waited alone in the dark for a father who never came. Panic tightened their chests, but pride kept them silent. Maria found them curled together on the floor, pretending not to be afraid. She did not lecture or ask questions. She simply sat nearby, humming softly, a tune from another life, wrapping the silence with warmth. That was the first crack in the wall. Luna's shoulders relaxed. Leo stopped clenching his fists. For the first time, they felt safe without conditions. Days turned into weeks, and Maria became a quiet presence in their lives. She never forced affection, never demanded obedience. She respected their space while never withdrawing her care. She left small gestures instead, folded blankets placed gently nearby, warm food kept ready without pressure, repaired toys left on shelves without comment. The twins watched her the way wounded animals watch someone who might help them heal or hurt them further. Ethan noticed the change gradually. Reports of chaos stopped. The mansion felt calmer, softer. He saw his children sitting near the kitchen doorway while Maria worked, not speaking, just existing together. It unsettled him more than their former behavior. He realized how absent he had been, how grief had turned him into a provider instead of a parent. One evening, Ethan stayed home earlier than usual. He watched from a distance as Maria helped the twins plant flowers in the garden, her hands guiding theirs through the soil. The twins smiled, small and hesitant, but real. Something inside Ethan cracked open. He saw not monsters, but children starving for love. When Ethan confronted Maria, expecting explanations or methods, she offered none. She simply continued her work, respectful and quiet. Her strength was not loud. It was rooted in acceptance, in seeing pain without judgment. Ethan felt shame for the first time in years. The twins tested Maria one final time. They accused her of leaving soon, like everyone else, deliberately trying to provoke abandonment. Maria paused, then placed her hand over her heart, steady and sure. She did not promise forever. She simply stayed. The next morning, and the next, and the next. Trust bloomed slowly, fragile but alive. Ethan began changing too. He started eating meals with his children, listening instead of correcting. He learned that healing was not grand gestures but consistency, presence, and patience. Maria never took credit. She never asked for recognition. She believed that love was most powerful when given freely. The mansion transformed. Laughter echoed in hallways once haunted by silence. The twins began sleeping through the night. Their cruelty faded, replaced by curiosity and cautious hope. Staff no longer feared the house. They felt something rare, peace. Maria eventually told Ethan she planned to leave one day, not out of obligation but to live quietly. Fear flashed in the twins' eyes, but this time, they did not destroy or push away. They hugged her instead, holding on not in desperation, but gratitude. They had learned that love could exist without ownership, that goodbyes did not erase what was given. Before the story ends, if this journey touched your heart, please take a moment to like the video, share it, and subscribe. And right now, comment the word kindness below to remind the world that gentle hearts still exist. On Maria's last day, the twins gave her a drawing. It showed a small figure standing between two children, holding their hands, light shining from the center. Maria smiled, her eyes wet but peaceful. She had not saved them. She had simply shown them they were worth saving. As she walked away from the mansion for the final time, she did not look back. She did not need to. Healing had already taken root. The twins stood beside their father, no longer broken, no longer afraid, finally whole. And the billionaire who had everything learned that the simplest maid had given him the greatest gift of all, a family restored through patience, love, and the quiet power of staying when everyone else walks away. If this story moved you even a little, please engage with the video, because every like, comment, and share helps spread the message that kindness can change lives, sometimes forever.